feeling good. Hope you have a wonderful day, whatever you decide to do. If you're off, most people are probably off. I hope it's very insightful and reflective. Today I want to touch on the blind side. You gotta check your wipers, you gotta check your mirrors. So although it's great and amazing to have vision and kind of having a knowing of where you want to go, ultimately I think what we want to do in life is probably to stem from our surroundings, upbringing, programming, idolization of others, status, especially when it comes to profession. And many people may ask you, what do you do for a living? And dependent upon what you do for a living is dependent on how much respect they have for you, or how to treat you, how to speak to you. You know, when to me it's not really a measure. Like, I know some amazing people that don't even work, and they just have character. There's something about them that can't be taught in a book. It's more of a life experience. But yeah, you gotta check your mirrors. You gotta check the blind sides. Don't be blindsided. You know, so yeah, just touching on the things that we may aspire to do and be inspired to do. It always comes down to being open. You have to be open. You know, sometimes people focus on the destination, but it's the journey, it's the beauty in the journey, and it's in the journey where, by being open, you're able to see how things unfold, how your journey can change. Be open for change, be adaptable. These are not things that can be taught. These are things that are learned along your journey, learned along the way. You can read all the books in the world that may give you tools and resources on how to unlock the adaptiveness of you, of self. But ultimately, you can't learn these things in a book. You can learn the theoretical sides of things. You can learn the theoretical sides of fasting and how people may respond to fasting, but ultimately you'll never know until you've gone on that journey. You can't see and experience something that you've never seen and experienced firsthand, first and foremost. It's like a therapist. Me personally, like, if I was to ever go to a therapist, you know, counseling, I wouldn't really, although they're there to serve purpose and to kind of guide people, I feel like I'd only be able to relate with them and feel a sense of, okay, these people are going to be able to help me in a different way if they've experienced something that I've experienced, or similar experiences, or had some sort of experience where they have the empathy, compassion, and will be able to kind of shed light on the things that we're able to help them along their journey, because ultimately it's going to come from them. These things can't be learnt in a book. So when people speak to me about things that I have direct experience about, or want to tell me, if they want to tell me like what's good for the system, the body, and all that sort of stuff, and I look at them and they're clearly overweight, they have issues, they have health problems, they like, it's very hard for me to, I zone out. And I'm not saying I'm not open, but they're not a reflection of what health looks like. If you go to a hospital and you see all the doctors and the nurses are smoking and they're trying to give you advice, they're not a reflection of health. So it's like very contradictory. If you go to a gym and you're being taught by someone that's overweight, it's very contradictory. Like, you're looking at them for the inspiration, but like they're not even a direct they're not the result that you want to see. So you have to take this through and throughout everything. If you do yoga, when you do yoga, you want to see someone that is a reflection of like what you may want to see on the other side of your experience. See, I look at things in that way. Like, yes, physical representation I think it's important in especially if we're looking for physical results, but there's always a deeper layer to these experiences. So for example, if I go to the gym and I see you know, my person, let's say PT, and they look the part, I also want to know, like, me personally, about like, what do you recommend to eat? Like, don't tell me I gotta eat anything just to gain the weight, because then you're lacking in other parts. And looking the part, people have this idea of like, yeah, looking big and muscly, but you really do not understand like what's going on the inside. You have no idea what's going on the inside, and then when you start having the health problems, and then when people pass away, people are very quick to say, oh, I can't believe it, like, it's unexpected, they look so well. That's why, because there's a lot going on underneath that you don't see. People can put a smile on their face and be going through the most mentally. If you take a picture is like literally less than a second, a snap of a 24-hour day. Like, the eyes do not lie. Like, I'm very good, I think I'm very good at just reading and seeing and feeling. Everything is like, that's the windows to the soul. Like, I can see everything like so clearly. Like, a smile doesn't hide what I can see. So yeah, don't be blindsided. Don't be blindsided by the program. Don't be blindsided by the journey. There's beauty in the journey, and within the journey is where things open up. And having a ton of vision and just staying focused, yes, I get it, I understand, but a lot of things as well are fueled by pain. Like, there's people that may aspire to be like world champions, but it was inspired by pain. So when they're telling you, when they write in a book and their autobiographies are all about how they manage to achieve so much. It's fueled by pain, anger. Like, I believe you can achieve some, you know, quote unquote great and amazing things if you see achievements in this light as being like ultimate goals. To me, they're not. It's nothing. To me, it's nothing really. Like, I get it. Like, you've got some accolades. You've got an accolade by someone who's, someone's giving you something. Someone's created a business out of something to give you something, who doesn't even value themselves, but you get value. You feel like there's value in. You feel like there's value in the thing that's given to you by someone that has no value within themselves and lives a destructive life. You know, we live in an interesting world. You know, having awards, like, people will use that to add value to themselves. Even qualification degrees, obviously having to have those things just to have a job. You know, I've got a university degree, but it's really nothing. It's actually nothing when I look back at it. Yes, if I'm using what I've learned to create something, my own thing, then that's a bit different. But ultimately, it's nothing. We're using these things just for a survival thing, because we've not been taught how to create our own thing. Like, it's just to keep the system alive and going. So achievements, qualifications, like, really nothing. What about life skills? Like, why we're not taught life skills? So yeah, don't be blindsided. It's when you become more aware, self-aware, accountable, your life is just going to unfold in ways that are unimaginable. You're going to start having a new reference of normal. You're going to start having a new reference because now the people around you just don't have these experiences. It's a different life. It's a different way of living, and it's beautiful. When you sit with yourself and really go deeper in yourself, start stripping back those layers. You know, it's not a one day thing. It's a journey. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifetime. Don't be looking at the end result, because sometimes when you look at that, when you're trying to find the end result and you've never been in that place before, you've never even seen what the end result looks like for you, you're kind of putting a cap on your growth and your reality, because you're trying to achieve something that you've never actually experienced before, but you're using somebody else's measure of, or someone's reference as your reference. Your life is your life. Two people can have the exact same lifestyle, exact same way of living, exact same parents, exact same experiences of life, but experience them in completely different ways. I think I've mentioned this example before. Someone's dog might die, someone's dad might die, or someone's mum might die, and the person who lost their dog feels that pain exactly like that other person who's lost their mum. But people will say, oh, it's not the same, though. It's not the same. Yes, it's not the same necessarily. It's not the same relationship, but it's still the same. It's still a valid emotion. Like, I would never undermine someone that's lost a pet over someone that's lost a family member. Yes, yes, I see it as a different thing, but like the person's emotion is still valid, and you know, they've had to have that experience to learn whatever they need to learn. So it's not about comparison, it's about individual experience. And when you're open enough and when you've kind of worked through your stuff, you see everything as a individual experience, and there's always something to be learned in there. It's not comparable. You know, most of the time when people are comparing, like, or saying, oh, you've not been through what I've been through and all this sort of stuff, it's because they're still in that pain energy, still grieving, still suffering with their trauma, you know. But it's all different. It's all different. Everyone has experiences in life to what they have to experience in life to get the lessons and to learn whatever they need to learn. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there. And yes, just a reminder, don't be blindsided, and just keep an open peripheral and check your mirrors and be present. And that's hard too, especially if you're in the past in your mind. You know, in the past is depression, in the future is anxiety, the present is peace. But it's hard to sit in peace when you're still on both sides or individual sides of the other side, and it's hard, it's tough. But through your own direct experiences, that's when you'll have that realization and be able to sit in a place of peace. But I'm gonna leave it here. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one.